back to In and Around North Bay, and today we're at the happiest place on earth. We're at Disneyland, California, and we're here because it is the 35th anniversary of Star Tours, my favorite ride, and of course we're going to be dropping into all the other Star Wars related stuff like Galaxy's Edge, having an opportunity to talk with R2-D2. Who's going to ever forget an experience like that? I know some adult fans might complain that there's not enough immersion in Galaxy's Edge, but for our kids, they had a blast. It was amazing, especially when it got dark outside. It really felt like you were living in a Star Wars ride. And speaking of rides that I know are not huge popular ones like the Millennium Falcon, Smugglers Run, this is still though a ride that's really popular with my kids. Being able to actually pilot the Millennium Falcon, that was pretty exciting to them. It doesn't feel like a video game as many critics have described it as. They love the experience, they love it every single time we go on this ride. And I like the little touches at Galaxy's Edge, like this. Yes, it's just a cooler for Sprite, but it has a droid that can interact with you, and that's just a cool little touch as you're walking around the park. And when you walk through the stalls, the different shops, you go into places that, yes, they're going to be selling some very expensive, pricey items for Star Wars fans who are looking to get the specific type of lightsaber handle or whatever it is, like Doc Ondar's Den of Antiquities. But it's just a cool room to be in. Even though I didn't buy anything here, it was some great theming, and so I really enjoyed being there. And of course, if I'm in Galaxy's Edge, I've got to stop at least for one drink at Oga's Cantina. And this is a very expensive bar. It's actually one that's kind of hard to get into. I just had to go to the front and ask if there was a spot at the table for just one individual while my kids were off riding another ride, just so I can sit down and bask in that experience. And of course, I wanted to see Rex, who's now the DJ here after once being the pilot for the Star Tours ride. And I decided I would get the Jedi Mind Trick. A lot of these cocktails, they're pretty sweet. They're definitely very pricey. It was more than $20, I believe. But again, you're paying for the ambiance. You're paying just to experience having a drink in Star Wars, which I think is pretty cool. My favorite quick bite to eat has got to be the Ronto wrap that you find at Galaxy's Edge. And while it's just at this little tiny kiosk to the left, they've done some great theming around it. We have this droid that's basically roasting those Rontos for you. And if you've never had one, it's basically either a vegan sausage or a pork sausage that's wrapped in a pita with some coleslaw, some kimchi on top of it. And it's a great, affordable snack. It's something that feels really fresh and it's tasty, especially after walking around Disneyland all day. I really recommend picking one of these up because it doesn't feel like a lot of fast food. I really enjoyed it. My wife enjoyed it. My kids enjoyed it. And when the evening rolled around, it was time to head over to Tomorrowland, where we have Star Tours. And as I mentioned before, it was the 35th anniversary for this ride. They had some special merchandise. You saw a lot of fans coming out for this. And I just really wanted to relive the experience of going on this ride that's 35 years old, but it still holds up. The queue, the line, getting into the ride is great. My kids love seeing C-3PO and R2-D2 and the other droids. We love how it's been modernized so that every time you go on the ride, or at least many of the times you're going to go on the ride, you're going to have a different version of it, that there's all these different paths that you can end up taking. Great thing. Even just standing right here as you're about to board, kind of feels like an airplane, but a lot more fun than standing in line for a United Airlines or whatever it is. Alright, well, it's time to get aboard Star Tours. I hope you enjoyed this video and come back next time. Until then, take care.